guys, welcome back to Self Study YouTube channel. This video lecture is for 10th standard SSC board students, and today's topic is history, historiography, development in West. Now this is part 5 of lesson number 1, historiography, development in West. If you haven't seen the first 4 parts, check the playlist. I have uploaded them, and this is the 5th part of Notable Scholars 1.4. So let us see them. So there in ancient times, I have explained you earlier as well, there were scholars, the historians who did great work, or the method used by them is given in the next slide, which we are going to see. So one by one we are going to see the scholars. Okay, let us move ahead. The very first one is Rene Descartes. Now if you go through the pronunciation, so this was the person. Okay, so if you see the spelling and then you will, if you pronounce, it will become like Rene Descartes, but it is not Descartes, it is Rene Descartes. Okay, Rene Descartes, 1596 to 1650. Now this is the person, Rene Descartes. Now what is he, for what he is known? Famous scholar who insisted on verifying reliability of historical document by critically examining them. Now we know critical examination, which means to identify which is correct, which is wrong, going to its depth and checking whether it is right or wrong. So with very care and precaution, if we are using or researching or studying, then this is known as critically examining. So Rene Descartes told that you should critically examine the thing and then you should verify the reliability of historical document. He was French, so he was from France, he was French. Therefore the book written by him is Discourse on the Method. So remember this point, which is the book written by him is Discourse on Method. Next is never to accept anything for true till all grounds of doubts are excluded. What is this? Among the rules given by him in his book Discourse on the Method, this one is supposed to have a great impact on the scientific method of research. What is it? Never to accept anything for true till all grounds of doubts are excluded. This means that don't accept anything as true if you're all until and unless your all doubts are clear. If your doubts are clear, if your doubts are finished, then you can accept the thing as true. Okay, so if there are still doubts and you should not accept it as true. Okay, let us move ahead to the next scholar, which is second one, Voltaire. And here is this is the picture of Voltaire, 1694 to 1778. Original name was Francois Marie Arouet. Now if you read this pronunciation by going word to word, it will be Francois Marie Arouet, but it is not like this, as he was French, he was from France. Therefore the pronunciation will also go in the same language, so it will be Francois Marie Arouet. So anyways, we will call him Voltaire. It is his pen name. Okay, so pen name of Francois Marie Arouet was Voltaire. Okay, so we'll call him as Voltaire. He was French. He opined that along with the objective truth and chronology of historical events, now chronology of historical events, the timeline, right? Timeline is necessary to study this and these things. So he said that along with this is also important, but you should also concentrate on events, historical events, considering social, tradition, trade, economy, agriculture, etc. So you should give importance to these factors as well: social, tradition, trade, economy, agriculture. So these things are also equally important for studying history. So history is not only about the chronology of things, what happened at what period, and the timeline of that. So it is not only that much, it is not related to the chronology only, you should also focus on these points. Which are those points? Social, tradition, trade, economy, agriculture. Okay, so remember that as well. Next is it gave to rise to the thought that understanding all aspects of human life is important for the writing of history. So all human, this is a point you should include in your answer if anything regarding Voltaire is asked. So it gave rise to the thought that understanding all aspects of human life is important for writing history. Next, and the very important point is, Voltaire was the founder of modern historiography. So his thought were matching with modern historiography, therefore he is known as the founder. Modern historiography is based on his thinking, his principles, therefore he is known as founder of modern historiography. Okay, so this was the second person. First person was Rene Descartes, who told us to have to observe things critically, to examine things critically, and never to accept anything for true till all grounds of doubt are excluded. This was given by Rene Descartes. Next is our Voltaire. Now Voltaire told that Voltaire is also known as the founder of modern historiography. He said that besides chronology and things like this, social, tradition, trade, economic, agriculture also should be focused in writing history, as well as aspects of human life is important for writing history, and he is known as the founder of modern historiography. Okay, his original name was Francois Marie Arouet. Okay, so Francois Marie Arouet, it is not the right pronunciation. I've told you the pronunciation earlier. Okay, now let us move to ahead with the third scholar, which is George William Friedrich Hegel, 1778 to 1831. And this is the person, George William Friedrich Hegel. Now he suggested on logical manner thinking for writing historiography. Now let us see his thinking. So there are actually many paragraphs on this, so we will just go through the textbook. Hegel was a German philosopher. The first two, Rene Descartes and Voltaire, were from France. They were French. Now this Hegel is from Germany. Okay, so he was German philosopher. He insisted that the historical reality should be presented in logical manner. So he insisted that to present historical reality in logical manner, there should be logic behind the things. To him, timeline of historical events was indicative of progress. He also thought that representation of history is bound to change over time as new evidence would come forth. With Hegel's philosophy, many scholars were convinced that historical methods were not lesser quality, though they differed from scientific methods. So historical method should be presented in logical manner was the thinking of George William Friedrich Hegel. But because of Hegel, or because of Hegel's philosophy, people were convinced, or many scholars were convinced, that historical methods are also as important as the scientific methods. Okay, historical method of research are also as equal as the scientific method. Now Hegel was very famous person. The collection of his lectures and articles, he used to give lectures to many scholars, then his articles are also there. Now lectures and articles, this is presented, or it is in the book. There is a book called Encyclopedia of Philosophical Science. Now the lectures he used to give, or the articles written, so this things here is in the book, which is named as Encyclopedia of Philosophical Science. So in this book, his lectures were there. Another book which is written by him, this book was not written by him because it contained its lectures. So history in reason in history, this book is written by him. So there were two books of Hegel. The first one is Encyclopedia of Philosophical Science, and next one is Reason in History. Reason in History is written by him. Rene Descartes had one book which was Discourse on Method, and next is of George William Friedrich Hegel. He had two books. First one in which articles were published, which is Encyclopedia of Philosophical Science, and the next one is Reason in History. Now, I hope George William Friedrich Hegel, this person is clear with you. Now, there were his understanding. This is given in the do you know box. The thing which changed the perspective of history, or the way history was treated. Hegel gave a very important concept in history. Let us study that. Okay. According to Hegel, grasping the meaning of any event happens in terms of two direct opposites. Two opposites should be included. Okay, these points are really necessary, therefore I am writing them down over here. Okay, so two opposites are necessary. I'll explain them as well. Human mind cannot understand true nature of that event without understanding the opposites. For example, true, false, good, bad. If there is something, there is an evidence, human mind cannot understand its true nature. What is it good, is it bad? Human mind cannot differentiate until and unless he know all the opposites, the good things of it as well as the bad things of it. Let us suppose there is a person you met first time, and this person you will not understand, your mind will not come to know directly that whether this person is good or this person is bad. But if you know the both opposites of the good qualities as well as the bad qualities of this person, then you will be easily able to tell that whether this person is good or whether this person is bad. So this is just an example. So you should know all the opposite, the good things as well as the bad things, the true or as well as the false things of one. So to understand the true nature of it, in order to understand the true nature of a thing, one needs to know both true and false, which I told you just now. Similarly, good and bad. This method of analysis is which is based on opposite is known as dialectics. Now this is a method. Now if I want to know the actual nature of this person, whether he is good or he is bad, he should be trusted or not, I have to know both the qualities, good and bad qualities of that person, right? Now this method of analysis, that to check his good qualities, then bad qualities, and then telling that whether this person is good or bad, so this whole method is known as dialectics. Okay, very important thing, which is dialectics. Okay, now in this method a theory is proposed at the beginning. Now let me erase everything given over here, clear all. Yeah, now let me explain. The method is dialectics. Okay, method is dialectics, and at the starting a theory is proposed. A theory is proposed at the beginning or starting, you can say anything. Okay, and that theory is known as thesis. A thesis is prepared at first in the method of dialectics. At first, what is prepared? A theory is prepared, which is known as thesis. Then over here, the another theory is proposed which is contrary to thesis, is called antithesis. Now another theory is proposed. Okay, another theory is proposed after proposing thesis. Okay, after this thesis, another theory is proposed which is known as antithesis. Now this is contrary to this. What does this mean? If thesis is on the positive things, then antithesis will be on negative things. If thesis contains the good qualities of a person, then antithesis will contain the bad qualities of the person. So in this method, which is dialectics, the understanding of true nature of one needs by this method is known as dialectics. So in this dialectics method, first a theory is proposed in the beginning, which is known as thesis, and after that another theory which is contrary to thesis is proposed, which is antithesis. Now after thorough logical discussion, now that person, whether he is good or bad, theory is proposed about his positive things, thesis is proposed on his positive things, antithesis is proposed on his negative things. Okay, now after proposing this theory, a thorough discussion is done now of both the thesis, both positive thesis as well as negative thesis as well as antithesis. So both now in again containing the positive and negative, another theory is proposed which contains both the positive and negative factor, which have both which includes both the gist of both of them is proposed, which is known as synthesis. Okay, now this process of arriving at a new theory, thesis, is called synthesis. I'll explain it to you again if you haven't understand. First, method is dialectics. Okay, method is dialectics. What is dialectics and which method it is? In the theory, okay, over here, this method of analysis is based on opposite. Method based on opposite to know the good and bad qualities or nature of the historical document is known as dialectics. This method is known as dialectics. Next, at the beginning, first at very starting, a theory is proposed which is known as thesis. Okay, thesis is given at the beginning. After that, another theory is proposed. After that, another theory is proposed which is known as antithesis, which is contrary to thesis. What is contrary? If thesis is positive, antithesis will be negative. After that, the third one, which combines both thesis as well as antithesis, both of them's gist, and it brings another theory or another thesis which is known as synthesis. Okay, I hope this thing is clear, and this thing was given by none other than Hegel. Okay, I hope these things are clear with you. Let us move ahead. Leopold von Ranke, then Karl Marx, then ahead other scholars. We are going to study about them in the next video lecture. So this was about the part 5, the 3 scholars which we have seen: Rene Descartes, Voltaire, and this last one which was Hegel, and their books we have studied. Remember the book's name, and also remember this dialectic method. So till then, bye bye, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you.